Hey, what's up, guys? Donnie Boivin here. I do a lot of Facebook Lives, but I haven't jumped on YouTube to try and figure it out here. So, with the launching of the new podcast, I figured I'd jump in and, have some fun talking with you guys, introducing myself to you, and talking about everything that we have coming up in the very near future. Where you're seeing me as I hang out. This is my studio at home for the podcast. I'll actually be going to our full production studio with backdrops and everything right now. But at home, I run just a typical green screen, and I do this all on the farm. And which is really cool is I'm one of the top podcasters in the world that I run my podcast from a farm. It's kind of a cool thing. So a little bit about me and what I do and who I am. I'm, a podcaster, a country guy, and my sole purpose and mission in life is just helping people get out of their own damn way. I really, I grew up in reading the self-help books. I grew up in sales, spent 20 years in the sales game. The last 7 of those, I was a national sales trainer. And, life has always been about me going for it and this school of hard knocks kind of things and screwing a lot of crap up along the way. I'm trying not to cuss on here because I cuss a freaking lot. If you ever listen to my current podcast, Success Champions, you'll hear it. I mean, I get the fortunate thing to speak with people all over the world, and man, we just free flow, and whatever comes up with the conversation just turns into some really cool content and some really cool information out there. And F-bombs get dropped and everything else. But for YouTube, while I'm testing the water and figure it out, I'm gonna try and keep it as clean as possible. I don't know how long that'll last. But I've done over 200 interviews. Well, actually, I've done over 250 interviews. 200 of them have aired on the show. And one of the biggest feedbacks I kept getting from the fans of the show was they wanted me to go on more of my rants, which I do quite often. So that's why I'm launching Donnie Talks. It's a chance to really get a lot more information out there. I'll talk a lot about sales and marketing. And here's the thing. It's not the guru crap that you see out there from everybody else. This is strictly just the stuff that I've been through and learned along the way by really screwing a lot of crap up. And trust me, I've done really well at screwing some things up. And it's all because I'm a knucklehead. I mean, it really comes down to that. I'm really good at getting out there and trying new things and bucking the system. I'm not a typical follow the rules kind of guy. So I've done really good over the years of getting in, researching things, figuring things out, mixing it up, and trying it again to make a system that works for me. I mean, I've done all kinds of sales trainings. I've taught, I've participated, I've read a ridiculous amount of books, and all that comes down to really me just trying to figure out what works for me in my business. So, I mean, what you're going to get from me is really just some practical advice and tips and things that I'm screwing up on a regular basis to really make some impact and help you guys out as much as possible. You're going to slowly start seeing the champions who listen to the podcast flow in here as I continue to drop more content, and they'll be coming along for the ride. So that'll be a lot of fun. Getting us all out here. I love the name of this, Live Control Room. That's kind of fun. I should probably do an OBS backdrop over the top of this. I think that would be pretty impactful. So maybe I'll work on that. But, here's the thing. I have a couple of philosophies that I believe and run my entire life by. Philosophy number 1 is if you're not getting punched in the face by life, you're not going big enough. That's it. It's really that simple. If things aren't breaking, things aren't screwing up, then you're not putting yourself out there. You're not, going after those things that completely scare the crap out of you. Because I truly believe that everything is not on the other side of fear. I don't believe that's a thing. What I think is everything's in the process of going through and leaning in that fear, right? Because all your journey, you've always getting, basically two paths put in front of you. Path number one says really, really simple. It says you can do this and stay comfortable in your life. Path number two says that's scary, dark, creepy. I shouldn't go down that way because it's spooky. I promise you that the answer is always down the dark, scary path, because very rarely do the dark, scary things you see in movies, do those things come to life. But in business, they're there all the time. And I promise you, the moment you lean into something that scares the crap out of you, because I firmly believe that when something scares you, it's the universe stepping up saying, hey, this is something you need to do. This is something that will help your business grow. And the more you step into that, you're going to be amazed that's going to tremendously help your business. So what I'm going to tell you is you're always, so philosophy number one is if you're not getting punched in the face by life, it's just not going to break loose, right? You're playing it too safe to make sure that life's going to work for you. I mean, it's really, really that simple. So the second philosophy I live by in life is that if you're not evolving and if you're not becoming a better version of yourself through knowledge, through learning, through application, then you're never going to become the person you need to become to get where you need to go. Because here's what I know. I know for a fact that the person you are right now is not good enough. And here's what I mean. I'm not saying you're a loser. I'm not saying you're a jackass. I'm not saying you're anything. What I am saying is who you are right now is not big enough, is not good enough to get where you need to go, because that person that you currently are has gotten you to where you are right now. That's it. And if you're looking at your business, you're looking at your life, you're looking at anything that you're doing and are not putting yourself out there and challenging the status quo, then you are not evolving. And here's where I get this from is when I was doing sales training and I worked for an international franchise. And when I was doing sales training with them, I would get people that would lose their jobs, right? And they would come to me because I was a sales trainer and they would say, Donnie, can you help me find a job? And I always tried to help, but I always knew this. They would oftentimes look at me and say, Donnie, I should be able to find a job really, really easy. My number one thing I get is I want to be a vice president of sales. And in the back of my mind, I would laugh because the only people that want to become a vice president of sales is the person who says, what vice president of sales when they're on the street is the person who looks at me and says, Donnie, I've got 20 years of being a salesperson. I should be able to lead a sales team. Here's the truth with that. They don't have 20 years of sales experience. They have year one repeated 20 freaking times. They never evolved. They never leveled up. They never bet on themselves. They always did just enough to survive. So the reason they want to become a vice president of sales is because they don't think they have to go do all those things that they never figured out how to do over the last 20 years. They don't have to go do the prospecting, the cold calling, the reach outs, nowadays the social conversations and stuff. They only have to do, work with their salespeople. So look, if you can look back over your life and you're still the same dude you were in high school or the same gal you were in high school, or you're the same level of income with static growth over 10% every year, which there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that type of growth. But what I will tell you is you either get in the game or shut the hell up. And the reason being because is you can't sit there and tell yourself that you are meant and destined for more and greatness and these type of things, and then the entire time be not going for it and beating yourself up mentally. I would rather somebody get okay where they are in life and learn to live within that lifestyle than to tell everybody that they should be so much bigger, me doing so much more, and then not doing anything to get there. Right? So you have to evolve. And the only way to evolve is to go to number one, which is lean into that fear and start doing the things that will allow you to level up. I talked to a sales guy today, part of a company, and he was really beating himself up. He's like, look, I'm not closing deals. I've been on 15 sales calls. Things aren't going. I've only closed 1 out of 15. I'm like, holy crap. So now we know where to start, right? You got your 1 out of 15. Cool. Let's get 15 more. And you're at least minimum closing 2 deals. And I told him, I said, you've just started this sales career. You're not going to knock it out of the gate, every deal. You've got to go get punched in the face by life to learn how to sell that product and service. You've got to start stepping into those things that freak you to hell out so you can start figuring out your rhythm and what it takes to become awesome. So here's what I want to leave you guys with. This is what I'm going to be doing on Donnie Talks podcast. On Donnie Talks, it's going to be this. I'm going to be taking, Facebook comments, Twitter messages, LinkedIn messages, and I'm going to be talking sales. I'm going to be talking social. I'm going to be talking marketing, all in the realms of only keeping it in stuff that I'm trying and doing myself. I love telling people I have a 6-figure business. That's all the bigger my business is, and I'm still figuring things out. And I have no problem sharing that message because, I want the real side of all this to come out and show what I'm doing along the way. So come along for the ride, man. Would love to have you along this journey as, we figure all of this out. And then if I can bring you any value, have any questions and things like that, feel free to send me a message. I'm always available. I'm always around. The podcast launches May 7th. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts after May 7th. But man, I'm looking forward to it. Gonna be a good time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you soon, guys. Love you, mean it. Later.